Hey everyone, welcome back. Excited for another deep dive.
Absolutely. Always ready to explore something new.
Awesome. Well, this time we're tackling green travel, which seems like a pretty hot topic these days.
Yeah, it's definitely gaining momentum, and for good reason, too.
So for this deep dive, we've got a bunch of articles, a couple of YouTube videos, even some personal anecdotes from travelers.
Sounds like we've got a lot to unpack.
We do. But our mission here, to figure out how to see the world without, you know, totally trashing it in the process.
Basically becoming super stealthy eco-warriors, but like the fun kind.
Exactly. So I guess the first question is, why does green travel even matter? Like, is it really going to make a difference?
Oh, it absolutely does. I mean, one of the sources actually breaks down all the positive impacts.
Okay, lay it on me.
So first off, it's obviously about reducing our environmental impact, right? Less pollution, less strain on natural resources, all that good stuff.
Makes sense. But then there's this whole other layer, which is about supporting conservation efforts. Like, if we choose eco-friendly accommodations or tour operators, our money is going towards protecting wildlife and habitats.
So it's like voting with our wallets for a healthier planet.
Totally. And then there's the whole economic angle, too.
Yeah.
When we support local businesses and communities, we're helping them thrive, which is especially important in destinations that rely heavily on tourism.
It's like this ripple effect, right? One good choice leads to another.
Exactly. And last but not least, there's this cultural preservation aspect. Like, by engaging with local communities and respecting their traditions, we're helping to keep those traditions alive for future generations.
Wow, so green travel is kind of a multifaceted superhero.
Uh-huh. That's a great way to put it.
Okay, so we've established that it's important, but let's get real for a second. Most of us travel by plane, which isn't exactly known for being eco-friendly.
True. Transportation is definitely a biggie when it comes to our travel footprint, especially flights.
Travel footprint, what's that all about?
Well, imagine it's like a measure of how much your trip is weighing on the environment, right? Everything contributes. Flights, hotels, the food you eat, even the souvenirs you buy.
Oh, wow, I never thought about it like that.
Yeah, it's easy to overlook all those little things, but they add up.
So, back to flights. Are we doomed to be environmental villains if we want to see the world?
Not necessarily. One of the sources has some really practical tips on how to lighten our impact.
Okay, spill the beans. What can we do?
Well, first off, choosing direct flights whenever possible is huge. All those layovers mean extra fuel burned.
Right, less time in the air, less fuel guzzled. Makes sense.
And here's a wild one. For shorter trips, trains can actually be way more energy efficient than planes.
Really? I always thought planes were the fastest and most convenient option.
They can be, but trains have their perks too. Plus, think about all the cool scenery you get to enjoy along the way.
I guess that's true. And of course, once you reach your destination, there's always public transport, walking, or even cycling.
Yes. Not only is it good for the environment, but it's the best way to truly experience a place, right?
Totally agree. Okay, so we've tackled transportation. What about accommodations? Any tips on how to be a green traveler when choosing a place to stay?
Oh, definitely. First off, look for eco certifications. Like, some hotels have these badges like LEE or Green Key that show they're committed to sustainability.
So it's like a stamp of approval for being an eco-warrior.
Uh-huh, exactly. It means they're doing things behind the scenes to conserve energy and water, minimize waste, all that good stuff.
So it's not just about me remembering to turn off the lights and reuse my towels.
Right. But those things definitely help too. And don't underestimate the power of supporting locally owned accommodations. It's a direct investment in the community and often has a smaller environmental footprint compared to those massive chain hotels.
Makes sense. Okay, so we've covered transportation and accommodation. What about packing? Any surprising tips there?
Ready for this? Packing light isn't just good for your back. It actually helps reduce the overall weight of the plane.
Wait, seriously? My overstuffed suitcase is contributing to a heavier plane.
It all adds up. But here's the silver lining. Packing light makes traveling so much easier.
Okay, sold. I'm officially on a mission to pack lighter from now on. What else can we do on the packing front?
This one's simple but powerful. Bring your own reusable water bottle, shopping bags, even a set of travel utensils.
Oh yeah, those single-use plastics are everywhere. It's amazing how much you can avoid by just having a few reusables on hand.
Totally. And when you do need to buy something new, look for brands that are using recycled materials or biodegradable packaging.
So it's like having a little sustainable travel kit that helps you make good choices wherever you go.
Exactly. It's all about those little shifts that add up to a big impact.
Okay, so we've tackled transportation, accommodation, and packing. What about minimizing waste once we're actually out there exploring?
Well, one of the easiest things is to go digital. E-tickets, digital maps, online bookings, it all adds up to less paper waste. And it's way more convenient, too.
True, I feel like I already do that for most things, but what about when you're out and about grabbing food, that kind of thing?
Remember those reusables we talked about? Having your own water bottle, straw, and cutlery can be a lifesaver.
Right. It's about being prepared and making those conscious choices.
Exactly. And don't forget to check if hotels and restaurants have recycling and composting options.
Point. I'll definitely be adding that to my mental checklist when I'm booking places. It's amazing how these small actions can make a big difference.
They really do.
Yeah,
But, even with all these tips, we're still going to generate some emissions, especially with flying.
that's true. Is there any way to kind of balance that out?
Well, that's where carbon offsetting comes in.
I've heard of it, but honestly, I'm not sure I totally get it.
Basically, it's like investing in projects that reduce carbon emissions elsewhere in the world to compensate for the emissions you create while traveling.
So it's like neutralizing your impact.
Exactly. You're putting good energy back into the environment to counteract the unavoidable emissions we sometimes produce.
Okay, that makes sense. So what kind of projects are we talking about here?
Things like planting trees, which absorb carbon dioxide from the atmosphere, or funding renewable energy projects, which help us move away from fossil fuels.
So you're supporting solutions that are fighting climate change head on.
Exactly. And there are two main ways to do this, according to one of our sources. You can purchase carbon offsets directly through various organizations, or you can support travel companies that are already incorporating carbon offsetting into their operations.
So it's like choosing to travel with companies that share your values.
Exactly. And you know what? There are online tools that can help you calculate your travel footprint so you can see exactly what you're working with.
Whoa, that's pretty cool. Knowledge is power, right? The
Mm,
more we understand our impact, the better equipped we are to make positive changes.
exactly. And I think we've covered a lot of ground already in this deep dive.
We have. I'm feeling a little overwhelmed, but in a good way. Like there's so much we can do to make a difference.
I know, right? It's empowering. But for now, I think we need to take a breather. Let's pause here. And when we come back, we'll dive into some real-life examples of people who are rocking the green travel game.
Sounds like a plan. See you in a bit. All right, welcome back. That was a lot to take in, but I'm pumped, feeling ready to make some changes.
Me too, yeah. And I think it helps to see how other people are actually putting these ideas into practice. Right.
Totally, yeah. Like we've got all these tips, but seeing real life examples makes it feel so much more attainable.
Exactly. And you know what? The sources you gave me are full of these incredible stories, just bursting with inspiration.
Okay, hit me with it. Let's hear about some of these green travel heroes.
All right, so one that really stuck with me, this traveler, they decided to explore Southeast Asia by train instead of flying,
Yeah.
and they spent like weeks slowly making their way through all these different countries.
Wow. That sounds amazing, though. Like a totally different pace of travel. More about savoring the journey than just, rushing from one place to the next.
Exactly. And this traveler, they were raving about how much more they learned about the region and its cultures by traveling this way. Like they had time to actually chat with people, try all sorts of local foods, and really just soak up the unique atmosphere of each place.
I can just picture it. Those long train journeys, gazing out the window at these breathtaking landscapes, maybe striking up a conversation with the person sitting next to you. It just sounds so romantic and adventurous.
Right. And it's like a reminder that sustainable travel can actually be more enriching and rewarding than those, more conventional trips we often see plastered all over social media. It's about slowing down, really connecting with the world around you.
I love that. Okay, so we've got the slow train travel. What other inspiring examples did you find?
Okay, how about this? A couple huge wildlife enthusiasts divided to spend their honeymoon at an eco-lodge in the Amazon rainforest.
Whoa! Talk about a dream honeymoon. But wait, what makes it an eco-lodge?
So this particular lodge is all about working with local communities to protect endangered species and their habitats. Like they're super committed to conservation.
That's incredible. So they got to combine their passion for travel with, like, their values,
Yeah.
right? And support a cause they believe in.
Exactly. And they said it was transformative, to actually see those conservation efforts firsthand and knowing that their travel choices were directly contributing to something positive, it made the whole experience that much more meaningful.
Right. It's not just about minimizing harm. It's like you're actively participating in protecting the planet.
Totally. And, oh, get this. There was this family, they decided to do a zero-waste road trip across the country.
Zero waste. Wait, how is that even possible on a road trip?
Right. It sounds intense, But they were really dedicated. They packed all their food in reusable containers, they had refillable water bottles, and they even composted their food scraps at campsites along the way.
Wow, that's serious dedication. And it probably wasn't easy.
Well, they said it wasn't as difficult as they thought it would be. Like they were finding farmers markets to stock up on fresh produce, and lots of campsites actually have composting facilities these days.
Huh. See, it's like with a little planning, it is possible. But okay, these stories are super inspiring. But I'm not going to lie, for someone like me, just starting out, it can still feel kind of overwhelming.
Oh, absolutely. It's a lot to take in. But the first step is just being more mindful and intentional about your choices.
Okay, so like before I book a flight or choose a hotel, what kind of questions should I be asking myself?
Well, for example, could you take a train instead of flying for this trip? Or is there an eco-friendly accommodation option available? Or even, do I really need to buy that new swimsuit? Or can I pack the one I already have?
Oh, I see. So it's about shifting our thinking, like really considering the impact of our choices before we make them.
Exactly. And it's not about being perfect, it's about progress, right?
Right.
Every sustainable choice, no matter how small, it all adds up.
Right. No pressure to be a perfect eco-traveler overnight.
Exactly. And, embrace the adventure of it all. Don't be afraid to try new things, to step outside of your comfort zone and explore alternative ways of experiencing the world.
Yeah, like maybe that means taking a scenic train journey instead of a short flight, or choosing a locally owned guest house over a big chain hotel.
Exactly. Those experiences can often lead to the most authentic and memorable travel moments.
Love it. And what about connecting with like-minded people? I feel like that could be really helpful.
Oh, absolutely. There's a whole community out there, online forums, travel blogs, social media groups, all dedicated to green travel.
Oh, cool. So you can share your experiences, ask questions, get inspired by others.
Exactly. It's like having a whole support system cheering you on as you explore the world sustainably.
I love that. Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here, but there's one thing I'm still a little fuzzy on. Any advice on how to approach carbon offsetting?
Yeah, it can be a bit confusing. But the most important thing is to do your research. Choose reputable organizations that align with your values.
So, like, I can actually tailor my carbon offsetting choices to support the causes that I care about most.
Exactly. And remember, it's an ongoing process, right? The more you learn about green travel, the more you can refine your choices.
Right. It's like a journey, not a destination. I'm feeling so much more empowered after this conversation.
That's awesome. It's about taking ownership of our travel experiences and really making them a force for good.
Well said. We've covered so much, from practical tips to inspiring stories, but I feel like there's always more to learn when it comes to green travel, right?
Oh, absolutely. It's constantly evolving field.
Which is exciting, right? It means there are always opportunities to improve.
Exactly. And that brings us to a, well, kind of thought-provoking question I wanted to leave you with. We've talked about minimizing our impact, making conscious choices, even offsetting our emissions. But what about the bigger picture? Is there a point where even the greenest travel is still, contributing to the problem?
Whoa, that's a deep one. It definitely challenges us to think critically about our role as travelers.
Exactly. There's no easy answer, but it's an important conversation to have.
Okay, that's some serious food for thought. Welcome back to the show.
It feels like we've been on this incredible journey, exploring all the different ways to make our travels more sustainable. It's been amazing.
I know, right? And you know what's really striking me? There's this like real sense of hope and excitement bubbling up around green travel. It's not just this niche thing anymore. It's like it's becoming a movement.
Totally. It's like a wave of change is sweeping through the travel industry. People are realizing that we don't have to choose between seeing the world and protecting it. We could do both.
Yeah, and the coolest part, it goes way beyond just minimizing our negative impact. It's about actually making a positive contribution, supporting those conservation efforts, empowering local communities, preserving cultural heritage. It's like we're shifting from taking from the world to giving back to it.
That's such a powerful way to put it. It's like travel becomes more than just a personal experience. It's something bigger, something that connects us to the planet and its people in a deeper way. Exactly. It's like recognizing that we're all interconnected and that our choices have those like ripple effects that go way beyond ourselves. So when we travel with that awareness, it just opens our eyes to new perspectives and deepens our appreciation for the beauty and diversity of our planet.
It's like we become global citizens, not just tourists.
Exactly. And you know what? It's not about sacrificing enjoyment or adventure. It's about finding that sweet spot where sustainability and fun, they just intersect.
Wow.
Where we can explore the world responsibly, but without missing out on any of the things that make travel so rewarding.
Yeah, we've seen so many examples of that throughout this deep dive, from choosing those scenic train journeys over flights to staying at those eco-friendly lodges to packing light and, embracing those reusable essentials.
Yeah.
It's all about making conscious choices that align with our values and protect the planet.
And remember, it's not about being perfect. It's about progress.
Yep.
Every little step counts. So start small, experiment, find what works for you. The important thing is to just get started and keep learning.
Love that. It's a journey, not a destination. But you know what? It's definitely way more fun to travel with a purpose, knowing that you're making a positive impact. So how can our listeners keep this green travel momentum going?
Share your experiences, tell your friends, your family, post about it on social media, write a blog, whatever feels right for you. The more we talk about sustainable travel, the more we normalize it, and the more accessible it becomes to everyone.
Let's create that ripple effect of positive change, one sustainable journey at a time. What a perfect way to wrap up this deep dive.
Couldn't agree more.
It's been a wild ride, but I'm walking away feeling informed, inspired, and ready to take on the world sustainably, of course.
Me too. And remember, the world is full of incredible experiences just waiting to be discovered responsibly and sustainably. So get out there, explore, and make a difference.
Until next time, keep diving deep and happy travels, everyone.